Okay, so what are we going to talk about? Well, when I sat down and I thought about, gosh, 2 days, we're covering basically all of competitive obedience and rally and touching on freestyle and a couple of other sports like that. What do I want people to remember? Because you're not going to remember all of it. It's all incredibly valuable, but I remember all of it. So what do I want you to really take home? And I came up with these 4 points. I came up with like 20 to begin with, but I whittled it down. So the first one is to actively train your motivators. We don't think about that. And I'm going to talk about motivators and reinforcers and reinforcement, and kind of really using those interchangeably. And we're going to get more into that, but never forget it. We tend to take it for granted, whether you're using food, toys, whatever. We need to actively train those. Always keep your training clean. It's something we strive for. We always strive for perfection. I don't usually always get there, but it's something that I am shooting for. Cleaner is better. Never forget our friend Pavlov. And then finally and most importantly, split. If you get stuck, split further. Anytime you think that, if you think, gosh, I need to fall back on some old thing that maybe I used to do a while back, think about it. Is there a way that I could split this behavior down further to explain it better to my dog? And the answer is always yes. Okay, so one exercise, the drop on recall. And we're going to get into more exercises, but I just wanted to give you an example. This is, so splitting it out, and we can split it even further. These are still big chunks. We can go even tinier than this. So looking at the exercise, drop on recall. So we start with the dog in a sit. They have to hold a sit for some period of time while you walk some distance away. So we would split out duration from that sit. We'd split out distance from that sit. And like I said, we can sit in so many different ways. There's square sits. They could rock back. They could tuck. They could sit different ways. They could sit fast. They could sit slow. But anyways, we definitely need duration and distance on that sit. There's the recall. Again, distance. We would want to split out on that. The drop, the down itself. So down at a distance, down while moving. I've recently been experimenting with splitting out the stop from the down while moving. So teaching just the brakes and then the down. What we're going to start off doing is we're going to build enthusiasm for the bowl as our first and last goal. The control is secondary. In order for this remote reinforcement game to be effective, the dog has to really, 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 really want it, right? Go back to our entropy diagram. I'm not going to get quite as much energy in the behavior as I have for the bowl, right? Did I say what I meant? Okay, good. You understood it. Yeah, so whatever you're doing, whether you're clicking or giving the cue, make sure that you click or cue before you either run towards the bowl or before you make any movement. Perfect. Good. So much. Targeting is so wonderful. When we're talking about targeting, it's just basically the idea of the dog touches some part of their body to some other thing, right? Unless we're talking about visual targeting and then they're looking at the things. Really, this is all very, very, very cool. Don't worry about that. These are my 4 things that I've kind of distilled it down to that I consider to be essential for my dogs. So there's the nose touch, which most people have. Has everybody got a pretty solid nose touch? Okay, we'll review it, but because we're going to use it later. But there's the paw touch, which we've used to build platform behaviors. Lots of things we can do with a paw touch, paw target. Chin target or chin rest. Do we have anybody that has a chin rest behavior? Yes, excellent. Well, you don't have a dog, but yes, perfect. Yes. So the chin rest behavior, which is wonderful and fabulous, and then shoulder targeting, which I've more recently added. And that's usually the harder one if you've never seen it before. Cute. And again, they don't have to jump up. Jumping up is cool if you like it and they are comfortable with it. But I do want them to stretch up, because we're going to use this to teach some specific muscle movements later. Am I allowed? Oh, good boy. Good, very good. Good. So I practice this mostly in front until I get it the way I want it. And this is a big part of my warm-up. It's a big part of my behavior chain, both getting into the ring and in between exercises. I use a lot of jump up and hand touches to transport the dogs from one side of the ring to the other when necessary, but also to teach healing. Beautiful. Okay, can everybody see that? So what she's doing, she presents her hand, she says chin, and the dog's just resting his chin in her hand and gazing lovingly up into her face. Beautiful. And how did you teach it? You reach under his chin. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It really is. It's super, super easy for most dogs. If you reach under, and they may be a little bit, because they're a little bit tense and distracted, just because there's 16 other dogs in the building with them right now. But if you do this at home, it's like practically fail-safe, right? If you reach up under their chin, and most dogs love the nice jowl rub, right? So you come up under their chin with your hand, and they lean into it. It's right there, Mom. Get that spot right there. Click that moment when they push into your hand. So the next thing that we're going to talk about on our list of foundation skills is position changes. So what's there to talk about position changes, Hannah? All the dogs in the world know how to sit down and stand up. That's not a big thing. Well, for most of our sports, we have specific ways that we want the dogs to sit, lie down, and stand up. And so what I actually want you to think about when we're talking about this is not the positions. We're not teaching the dog sitting, but specifically how they're going to move their muscles to transition from one position to another. Okay, so let's look at some video. And I was up way too late playing with iMovie, so we'll see what happens. Because this is again one of those things where I get really fascinated by watching. Okay, so this is a stand to a sit. Her front feet stay in one place, and her hind feet come to meet it. And now slow-mo, watch the muscle, ignore the sneeze. Watch what she's doing. She shifts her weight forward, engages her abs, and actually pulls her pelvis towards her elbows. Anybody notice where I'm reinforcing? Out of position. Does that blow anyone else's mind? A little bit. Moving off the platform, I'll get a couple of steps, so I can move a couple of steps for one click, whereas most of these guys are doing one step per click, and then can I get 2 or 3 steps per click? And then what I'm going to do is I'll do left turn, side step, and click the dog for staying with me. And the first time you do it, you'll actually kind of surprise them, and they won't even be paying attention, but it happens, and you're like, whoa, that was awesome. And you click and deliver the treat right there where you've been delivering it. Eat out to the dumbbell, then we want to eliminate all the other cues that we're giving. So we want to eliminate the heel, the sit, the weight. Okay. So whatever we can do to set it up so that you don't need those things, usually just holding her collar is the simplest, and just drop the treat. And have your cookie ready. Yeah. And then toss the treat. Yes, there you go. And be ready to go right to another one. Grab her collar, toss it out. Go.
Go fetch.
Toss it out. Good.